right.
A little different this time because it's the tournament. It's a big deal. It's a major story going on right now. So we're going to get into a tournament edition of the speed round. I threw this together. This is Justin's all-time Izzo era MSU lineup. Now, remember, we have a lot of audio listeners, so I'm going to read it. And here's the parameters that I set for myself. Starting 5 and 1 6 man. No bench, no 8th man, no 9th man. Just starting 5 and a 6 man. And the parameters are, if I had to pick a team, and I got a gun to my head, and they have to win this tournament with this rules, this field, all that. They have to win the 2021 tournament or that trigger is pulled and my brains are all over your nice Ivy League suit. This is the 6 I would pick to keep myself alive and with a pulse. Point guard. This is where I had the most trouble, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
I went with Mateen Cleaves. We'll talk about it. Shooting guard, the 2, Jason Richardson. At the 3, small forward, Denzel Valentine. At the 4, Draymond Green. At the 5, Xavier Tillman. 6th man coming off the bench, Gary Harris. Now, I'll defend this really, really quick. I have 6 guys that can shoot, 6 guys that can defend. That was really important to me. I am well aware that my tallest guy is like 6'7".
Yeah.
Just for the record, I'm aware that that wasn't an oversight. I chose to go with all guys that could hit a 3 if they're open or remotely open, and all guys that are B-plus defenders or better. That was my logic. They can all defend, they can all shoot, and I got a couple really good passers. First question for you. Grade my team. Grade my 6. And make any changes.
You just got to throw that back up. Throw that back up for me, Ben, so I can see it one more time.
Ben
I'm digesting it.
Ben will pull that up.
Um,
Again, for the listening audience, it's Mateen Cleaves, Jason Richardson.
The combination of Draymond Green and Xavier Tillman really is that's sexy. I would have loved to see those 2 play, especially if we're getting like peak each of them.
And that's what we're. That's we are getting peak in this.
Of course,
they're MSU peak.
It's tough for me. Does Adrian Payne get into that mix, particularly with the,
his senior year?
Yeah, his senior year was unbelievable. Having a guy just be like that. I think Jaren Jackson is probably in this conversation, and maybe I would slide Gary Harris up into the starting rotation. I know Jaren had, a mixed bag. He had foul trouble. He only played 20 minutes per game. But if you brought him off the bench, and he's the 6th man in the mix, a guy that can shoot 40% from 3 and, one defensive player of the year in the conference. That's kind of an interesting mix for me too. It's tough. Obviously Mateen won the whole thing and will always be a legend, and we'll never get to know what Cash was able to do in the tournament. I think that's of all the seasons, and I'll say it over and over again, my biggest regret is not seeing Tillman and Cash get to run it back and see what they could have done.
Yeah.
Because would we have had as much discomfort and just frustration with this season if we had gone to back-to-back Final Fours and we got to see those 2 play again? Like it would have just all been a little bit of gravy this season. I think
the ultimate what if. I'll justify my answers for a couple of your points. You mentioned Adrian Payne.
Yeah.
I have a hard time picking one of the only 2 guys that went 4 years with Izzo and never made a Final Four. That's just for this parameters. We have to win the whole thing, and I'm going to put. I'm not saying that's the only reason.
Well, the UConn year was his junior year. Was that right, or was it senior?
That was his senior year.
That was
their Appling. That was their last chance.
It was Appling, Payne, Dawson. Harris was a sophomore.
Yep. That was Appling, who was like the best player in the country in December and broke his wrist and then just sucked. But I left Payne out because it's like, look, we're trying to win a national title. I like Payne. It's like he was a close cut, but it's like, Tillman, I think, is just a better player. And look, I'd like to have a couple extra inches, but look, Tillman could shut down anybody. I mean, he was in Luka Garza's face. That guy's, 6'11", 7 feet tall. I can lose it.
Yeah.
You got to give up something. There's no perfect dream team with this scenario. And the other snub would be Cassius Winston. Look, at the end of the day, Mateen Cleaves better defender. And this is a team that does not need Cassius Winston to carry him. This is a team that just needs to play to their potential. Mateen Cleaves is going to get in your fucking face if you're slacking. Yeah. Cassius Winston didn't really show much of that. Winston is better if he had a lesser, if you have a worse supporting cast, I'd rather have Cassius because he's more likely to carry a team. But a team that just needs someone to keep everyone in line and not fucking around, Mateen is the pick there, in my opinion.
What do you think about Bryn Forbes possibly getting himself close to that? I know he wasn't a great defender, but one of the purest shooters that we've ever seen come through the program. I mean, his senior year was unbelievable. And Denzel and him, that combination, I mean, 2016 hurt so bad because those two were just
I like Bryn a lot, but Gary Harris, better player. Denzel Valentine was the player of the year, and Jason Richardson, better player. So they're just better players.
Yeah. I mean, what did Jay Rich shoot from deep? You'd have to tickle my brain on that.
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. But
what did he play? I mean, he played more of like a small forward, power forward position.
Yeah, he was.
I know you slid him up just for
purpose. He was a swing man. He was dunking. Yeah. I mean, he was a drive. He could shoot a little bit, but I like my team.
All right,
you're giving it a B+.
I would give it a B+. Yep.
What changes are you making, Winston?
I would have to look at the numbers for Jason. I think that would be.
What about Cleves Winston though? Let's just leave it there with Cleves and Winston. Who do you take at point guard? It's got to be one or the other. No one's picking, Tum there.
I mean, if you have, like you said, the rest of the supporting cast, you're probably taking Mateen, but
that's right.
So you love my team for that. Yeah,
you love my team.
Most of it. I would say there's like one position maybe I'd consider training out.
I like my brother had Adrian Payne as his center for the record, but
I mean,
I'm
a Tillman slappy, so I miss him so much this year. It's unbelievable.
You and I both love Tillman. We'll get to the next one.
Just for the record, Jason Richardson shot 38% for his college career.
From three?
From three.
The field?
From three.
Oh, okay.
I was
going to say from the field.
From the field, he was 50.3 for his career.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say because he was driving all the time.
So that's a good point. I didn't know that he shot that high, and so now maybe I would bump you up to
an A-.
Yeah, I mean I think that's probably a pretty good.
I like my
collection
roster.
of it.
That team would win the national title like literally every year. That's why there's 20. That team is stacked.
Oh, before you go to another tab, please like, subscribe, and follow for more clips and highlights.